You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Chelsea Gardner is with us from the Mortgage Marketing Animals. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day. I don't know, though. Josh, we got National Toothache Day. No. Having beaten anorexia, though, I'm going to go with bagel and lox to start the day. Nice. And maybe we'll finish the day with a little pizza day. Where are you getting the best pizza? Right out here in Southern California, Tony's Deep Dish Pizza. That's for me. It takes about an hour for them to make a pizza. Now, here's the question I'm going to pose to you. Share it with me. You can direct message me. You can put it on the social channels. When you go and you get pizza for takeout, do you tell them to cut it or not cut it? I hadn't heard of this until about a year and a half ago, getting the pizza uncut. And I'll tell you, when you get home with an uncut pizza, it's better than when you have the cut pizza. It's not as soggy. So I'm just going to throw that out there. If you've never tried it, you ought to give it a try. It is pretty good. So pizza day, where are you getting a good one? Hey, let's take a look at markets today. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 200 is up 275. S&P 500 is up 51. The NASDAQ is up 203. Oil down 8 cents a barrel. That's good news. All of this, though, might change a little bit once we see what happens with the 10-year Treasury auction that's going to come up, about 11 o'clock here on the West Coast. We should get the report on that one. So we will be watching that one for you to see where that goes. But as I do on many mornings, do we want to get this information? Well, especially because, Chelsea's coming to us from America. Florida. And I just look at this one when we talk about oil. So gas prices right down there in Florida, $3.47 a gallon is the average. I think Lori might still have the win here. So in Louisiana, our tremendous underwriter, Lori, $3.23 a gallon, moving right along across the country. Jody's at $3.66 today. She's our production manager in Arizona. Josh, you're going the wrong way. $3.88 for Josh in Nevada. And hey, I'm the winner. $4.68 a gallon right here in the formerly Golden State. $4.68 a gallon. $3.47 is the average across America. Unbelievable what's going on in gas prices. But as they say, elections have its consequences. But at least we did hear something. This is a new one. So, we've only got, about 50 million people here in the state of California. And Los Angeles, we can't find a medical doctor to oversee what's going on with COVID. We've got the PhD, Dr. Barbara, there. And I noticed yesterday that she came out with a newest of the edicts. You're going to love this one. Okay, so the mask mandates are going to expire November 15th. Yeah, that's going to be the day after the Super Bowl. Does that surprise you?
Surprise.
No, but yeah, is anybody going to listen? That's the other question. I shouldn't say that because I don't have the backup $100 million offer that Joe Rogan has. But here's the issue. Came out and said that the mask mandate will stay in effect until 2 months after kids are allowed to get poisoned. I mean, boosted or vaccinated. I shouldn't say poisoned. I guess people get mad at me when I say that. But that's a different story. 2 months after the kids are allowed to get vaccinated, the LA is going to be wearing masks. Now, maybe the non-medical doctor that's running all this for LA, maybe she ought to look a little bit south of her, right here to beautiful Orange County, California, where all of our numbers are better than what they're doing in Los Angeles. Every one of them. The number of COVID cases, the number of hospitalizations, the number of deaths, all better, and we have less government control. Wow, people taking responsibility for themselves and not having to have the good doctor tell them when to keep the mask on. Unbelievable, but it is Los Angeles, and well, thank goodness my car sputters at the county line, so I know exactly when I get there, and it tells me to turn around, go back, going into untested waters. Moving right along. Hey, did you check this one out? I saw that Geneva, they just came out with a new loan product that's going to allow them to go down to 580 FICO score. So that's a pretty good one. Have you been watching anything with Peloton? I heard this one. This is the newest that I've heard. Yeah, if you're a Peloton user, and obviously I am not. Of course, I could get a Peloton. I think that they still have that Peloton model that you kind of hang your clothes on at the end of the day. Maybe that's what they use them for. I don't know, but Peloton, their stock has been crashing. It's been taking a big dive. And now there's a new story because they got to figure out, okay, if the pandemic is over, which it is, and the stock is continuing to drop, it's down another 2.5% today. What are they going to do to make money? Who's their target market? Well, they claim their target market is affluent people who want to exercise at home. I guess that's the idea. Obviously, my idea of exercise is about a 4-ounce curl with my wine glass in the end of the evening. That's a different story. Peloton's talking about buying Blue Apron. That's the newest. So I guess if you're eating properly, you get to get your food delivered to you as well. Blue Apron, their stock didn't do so well when they came out, but maybe with the association, if this happens with Blue Apron, could be pretty interesting to see. Blue Apron stock right now, again, we do not give financial advice on Ron Siegel Radio, but trading at $8.25 a share. What do you think? It's up over 5% today. Might have to go and I'm not telling you what to do. I might have to go out and get a little bit of Blue Apron just to see. Well, maybe I'll have to try their food first. I wonder if they can send me pizzas and if they'll send me bagels with lox and cream cheese. I wonder if that's part of their plan. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Social media, is your marketing matching your market? We're going to talk about that. The path to home ownership can be steeper for some Americans. And if we get to it, what is a credit limit? How is it determined? And what credit cards offer the highest limits? You do not want to max them out. Oh, you can reach me anytime. Our offer number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel.
Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Nikki is standing by to take your call. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 236 points. The NASDAQ is up 184 points. S&P 500 up 47. 10-year treasuries, the yield is down 3 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities, that yield is, or the bond itself, it's not the yield. The bond is up 5 basis points, which means interest rates are heading down just ever so slightly. But as you know, all that information is readily available on that super secret website, google.com. Why are you listening to Ron Siegel Radio? You want to know why these things are happening? Well, we're looking at what's going on. I just saw an article this morning. Home buying, the buying has been biggest frenzy in history in January. A massive amount of properties that are being sold very, very quickly. So that's one of the issues. Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for the week ending February 4th, showing that overall application volume decreased by 8.1%. Applications to purchase a home down 10%. Refinances decreased by 7%. We've got that 10-year bond auction coming up a little later this morning. That's going to determine these issues. And the biggie will come tomorrow, the Consumer Price Index. That's inflation. I know the federal government tells us there is no inflation. For some reason, when I go to fill up my car with gas, it seems like it's a little bit higher to me than it used to be, and that affects everything. So we are looking also, the Atlanta Fed president, not a voting member of the Federal Reserve, Raphael Bostic, spoke on CNBC today, said that he's starting to see some evidence that inflation might start leveling off. Wow. How about also looking at maybe 7 rate hikes in the next year in interest rates, maybe even half a point rate hikes from the federal funds rate? All that'll have an effect on your mortgage rates. Those don't drive the rates, but they'll have an effect because bonds don't like inflation. If the Federal Reserve can get inflation under control, the bonds, the interest rates might start dropping. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. How about marketing? I lead a lending team, and I tell people all the time, my fun is all in marketing, right? I love marketing. I love talking to people who are smarter than me, which is most people, about marketing. And if you're thinking that you can do marketing nowadays without social media, well, I'm going to just tell you, you better wake up a little bit. Social media is out there. It's not going away.
It is what it is.
It's the way of, I looked at the newspaper Sunday, and have you ever believed that you'd be able to fold the Sunday paper in half? Right? It used to be they were so thick you couldn't fold those things, but it's because it's all gone to social media, and we've got a social media guru with us, Chelsea Gardner, the Mortgage Marketing Animals. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me, am I off base? Are we going back to print media like the newspaper, or is it all going social?
I would definitely say a lot of stuff is going over to social. Print is not necessarily dead, but a lot of people are on social media, and it's way cheaper than print. So it's definitely a place to be. So
you say it's way cheaper. Are you suggesting that we should or should not spend our money advertising, or is there better ways of getting our message across than spending money with some of these social media platforms?
Yeah, so honestly, it really depends on the objective. So, if you are looking to grow organically, obviously you can do that multiple ways through social media and video content and post, and kind of really grow your organic side. I do also recommend running Facebook ads, right? Especially for our loan officers, running stuff to, their past database and real estate referral partners. But you can get away doing a lot of stuff for free. And even with the ad side, it's still way cheaper per view than running print a lot of times.
So it used to be, and maybe it still is. I don't know the answer. There was something that I learned from our mutual friend Carl White. There was something called Facebook ads that suck. And we used to be able to run these ads, and they were pay per click, and we didn't want anybody to click them. We just wanted them to see our picture. I scared a lot of people. They'd probably do much better with your picture than mine. But the idea here is you just got the branding out. Do you still do that, or do you pay for impressions or clicks, or what is the better way of doing things now?
Yeah, so absolutely. You can still run ads that way. It's really for the know, like, and trust, right? And being top of mind when people find you. So if you are running ads to the right people, then you're going to constantly be in their feed, whether they're clicking on it or not. A lot of times you do pay for the clicks and the impressions and the reach, depending upon the campaign that you're running in the ads. But just staying top of mind and being in front of people can be very, when they need you, it's important. So yeah, that can still be a thing.
So we say ads to the right people. Are the new rules that are going through with Facebook and the privacy through Apple? Are you able to continue doing that, setting them out to the right people, or is it something, or is it more challenging?
It is a little more challenging. It was, a marketer's not so happy nightmare. But yeah, I mean, the iOS 14 update and some of the things that Facebook has changed in the ads is doing more targeting, right? They don't want to target specific things. So you can't necessarily target, what the income levels are anymore and things like that. But you can still upload custom audiences. So you can still upload, your client database, realtor partners. You can still choose, like if you're trying to target specific zip codes or specific areas, you can still choose stuff like that to target. It's just a lot of the things that Facebook used to implement, they've kind of done away with. And then with the iOS 14 update, as we know, Apple users can kind of opt out of a lot of marketing. And so that has affected some reach and impressions off of that. It's just a little less than what it used to be, but it hasn't been in like too bad, I will say.
Okay, so where am I? How do I know who to be? What platform to be using? I mean, I think I can probably guess that we're not going to use MySpace. I don't know. Maybe you don't even remember MySpace. I mean, you're a little bit younger than me.
I do, though. Yeah, I do.
But you've got Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok and Rumble and I don't know, the new one that President Trump is coming out with. What do I do? What do I go to?
So Facebook is still a very, very widely used platform, and it's really going to be dependent upon your target market. So Facebook still has a very large demographic. You can still reach a lot of people. So especially in homeownership, you've still got about 75% of the population urban, 67% suburban, and then 58% rural. So whether you're doing FHA, conventional, VA, all those loans, you can still reach people on Facebook. What you look at for LinkedIn, for example, that's going to be more of like your referral partners, prospecting your network, for real estate agents. And then TikTok, I just found out, is going to be more for like your Gen Z and millennial first-time home buyers. That's where you want to be. So it really depends on who you're trying to target. But Facebook still stands as a very widely used platform across all age demographics.
So where do I go? How do I do all this stuff? You've got, again, LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't know if does anybody use Twitter? Is Twitter for anything anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. Pardon? I missed what you said there.
Oh, I said a little bit, not much, though.
Okay, just a little. Okay, so you got 4, 5, or 6 platforms. What are your thoughts on these aggregator services? Recur Post, Sendable, Hootsuite, Buffer. Any thoughts on those?
Yeah. So if you don't know, Facebook and Instagram merged. They have a marriage now, so they own each other, right? And Facebook has its own scheduling platform for those two platforms. So you can go to Facebook Business Manager and you can schedule posts in that Facebook Business Manager for your Facebook pages and your Instagram. So I highly recommend using that. Sometimes third-party systems, Facebook, because they have their own scheduler, they don't necessarily like for you to use third-party platforms. So you might see like your reach kind of decline just a little bit. However, you can absolutely still use some of those systems, and a lot of them are partnered with Facebook. So you just want to make sure that you're, paying attention to those platforms. Like you said, Sendable, Hootsuite, Planoly, those platforms are fine to use, and schedule. LinkedIn doesn't have a scheduler yet. I'm assuming it's probably on the horizon, but you can use a third-party scheduler for LinkedIn, and you can kind of link all of your pages to one of those third-party schedulers. So that's absolutely fine to use to keep yourself sane, right? Because there's so many platforms and you can't post every day, all day. So definitely making sure that you have something in place that's scheduled out for a little bit is super helpful.
What about the thought of posting the same content on multiple channels simultaneously? Does that get boring? Because I look at when I get up in the morning, I'll look at my Instagram, I'll look at my Facebook, look at the LinkedIn, and I get kind of bored when I see the same thing on all three channels. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah. So do you, on your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, are all of your followers the same?
I wouldn't think they are, because we've got so many more in different groups.
Yeah. So honestly, it really just depends. You can post the same across all three channels, because the likelihood that I'm following you on all three channels is probably pretty slim. I'm probably following you on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, but probably not all three. So I wouldn't see the same content across all three platforms. So posting the same isn't terrible unless your demographic is completely different across the platforms. Gotcha.
When we come back, I want to chat about, can I really get decent reach when I'm not spending the money, or are they going to start throttling me down because I'm not spending money? So we're going to talk to Chelsea when we come back about that one. We're going to also chat a little bit. We've got a real-time real estate segment for you. The path to home ownership can be steeper for some Americans. And if we have time, we'll get to what is a credit limit, how is it determined, and what credit cards offer the highest limits. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area-trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Find out exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market believes about your property. It is an email we send you complimentary once per month. You got to watch for the email, though, because it's coming out to you, and it's only about your house. It's not the neighborhood. It's your specific property. The path to home ownership can be steeper for some Americans. As we celebrate Black History Month, we honor and recognize the past, present experience of Black Americans. A significant part of this experience is investing in a home of their own. While equitable access to housing has come a long way, the path to home ownership is still steeper for households of color. It's an important experience to talk about, along with how working with the right real estate experts can make all the difference for diverse home buyers. We know it's a more challenging journey to achieve home ownership for some because there's still a measurable gap between the overall coverage U.S. homeownership rate and that of non-white groups. Today, the lowest homeownership rate persists, easy for me to say, in the Black community. Homeownership rate on average 65.5%. Homeownership is an essential piece for building household wealth that can be passed down to future generations. However, there are obstacles in the home buying process that can negatively impact certain racial and ethnic groups, including the Black community. This can delay or prevent many from achieving homeownership, challenging their ability to grow their net worth. A report by Vanessa G. Perry of the George Washington University School of Business and Janet Radcliffe of the Urban Institute explains, quote, households of color have much lower homeownership rates than white households and consequently hold at the median just 1/8 the wealth of white households, unquote. On top of that, when Black households do become homeowners, research shows they pay more for those homes overall than the average household. Rahim Hanifa, a research analyst for the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University, tells us, quote, Black homeowners not only have primary mortgages with higher interest rates than white homeowners with similar incomes, they also have higher interest rates than white homeowners with substantially lower incomes. Black homeowners have experienced systemic barriers to homeownership and wealth building opportunities that have limited their ability to access credit, which is a key component in receiving low mortgage interest rates, unquote. For Black homeowners, the inequity that remains in housing can be a point of pain and frustration. That's why it's so important for members of diverse groups to have their right team of experts on their side throughout the home buying process. These professionals are not only experienced advisors who understand the market and give the best advice, they're also compassionate allies who will advocate for your best interest every step of the way. Bottom line, opportunities in real estate improve every day, but there are still equity challenges that many face. Give me a call at 800. I don't believe in any of the challenges. They should not be a part of our the discussion. If you can afford it, you should have the exact opportunity as anybody else who can afford the same property. Unless you're a veteran, then I think you should have an advantage. Just my opinion. I'm always looking out for the veterans out there. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Continuing our conversation this morning, Chelsea Gardner is with us. The Mortgage Marketing Animals is the company. Now, Chelsea, you consult with people that are more than just mortgage people, don't you?
Say that again.
You consult with folks that are more than just mortgage, don't you?
We work only with loan officers, but marketing in general can go with anybody, basically.
Yeah, it's the content that we're talking about is going to fit. If you're a restaurateur, you may want to be listening. If you're a gardener or if you're a pool person, and of course, if you're a realtor or loan officer, great. The content is really great for you. But Chelsea, I had a question because I've looked at some of them. I know I am not a fan of Yelp at all, just because I understand that it's a pay-for-play game. Are some of the other platforms, the Facebook and Instagram, if I'm advertising with them, if I have a business account with them, and then I minimize my advertising, my spend, are they going to throttle back who they show my content to?
So yes and no. It is obviously you are going to get further reach on like your Facebook or platforms when you're using ads. It's the same with any platform. Anytime you pay for those ads and you pay to be seen, you are shown, to more people. Your reach can be a lot higher. Your impression share can be higher, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to say, oh, you're not advertising, so we're not going to show your stuff and you're going to really not be seen. You're still going to have that organic growth and you still can be seen through various strategies like your hashtags and the content that you're putting out there and, how you're engaging on the platforms. There's still a lot of ways that you can grow organically. It might not be as fast, right? Or you might not be seen by as many people as when you're paying for ads, but there's still absolutely, they're not saying like punishing you per se.
Okay. You mentioned something in their hashtags. So at one time I heard 4 hashtags, then I heard 30 hashtags, then I heard we're back down to lower number. Where are we going with hashtags? What's the real scoop there?
Yeah, so a hashtag strategy, I recommend putting a little bit of time on it, but not a lot, because hashtags, it helps, but it's not going to be like your main content strategy. That shouldn't be what you focus on. You can go up to 30 hashtags, especially on Instagram. They did cut it back to 12, and now they're at about 5. You still can go up to 30, and I have come across multiple accounts where 5 work better for them, and I've come across many that 30 still work well for them. So that's still kind of a case by case basis. You really need to look at what your hashtags are, and if they're niche to what you're doing and who you're trying to reach and serve, then you can go more than 5. But you don't want to, if I'm wearing camo, my hashtag shouldn't be camo. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about or who I serve or what I do. But if it's niche to what I'm doing, using more hashtags is completely fine.
What about using my company name or branding or things like that in the hashtag? Is that good or bad, or does it matter?
Yeah, so Instagram did release that necessarily, like, branding and using your name and all of that isn't necessarily needed unless people are searching for you particularly. So if you have a high search volume, like hashtag Nike, they would use their hashtag. But if other people aren't necessarily hashtagging you, it's not necessary, but it is a nice way to be able to go to that hashtag and find all of your posts or people that may have tagged you in them. So it's not going to hurt you.
So it used to be that, and I think you can still do this. You could set up a Google search for your name, and then anything that would pop up that had my name in it, although there is a professor at Wharton who's a lot smarter than me that has the same name, and an insurance guy in New Jersey. I don't know if he's smarter or not, but is that can you do that with hashtags, or is that even relevant, or is it something you should be doing? Is seeing what's being how people are talking about you?
Yeah, it's not as relevant right now. It's the niche and saying who you're serving and what you do. That's more important.
So what if I serve a lot of people though? Or you wear a lot of hats, right? I mean, in the lending world, we've got people that are dealing with the FHA buyer, a conventional buyer, jumbo veterans. Do you put all of them in there, or just what that particular post is about?
Yeah, so with that, it's going to do a little bit. You got to do a little bit of research. You got to find the hashtags that have roughly about 500,000 or less views on them, unless you have a very high following. You don't want to hit, if you're like, ooh, this has 1 million views, that's probably not your hashtag, because it's going to get lost when you go to post unless you have a very high following. So sticking to those hashtags that are on the little bit lower end. So it does take a little bit of research. And then, yeah, you can use all of them. However, I would probably try to err on the side of what that post is relevant to. So if you're posting something about VA loans, then use those hashtags. And then if you're posting something tomorrow about FHA loans, post those hashtags. I don't necessarily think you should use all hashtags every time, but that does take a little bit of tweaking and research, and then looking at your insights to see, okay, how many people saw this post from my hashtags versus this post, and maybe tweaking those based off of that.
Well, it sounds like Josh has a lot of work to do. because I do subscribe heavily to the concept of automation, and I have adopted the Mortgage Marketing Animals definition of automation. I tweaked it just a little bit. I think Carl for many years has said automation means somebody else does it. I just say Josh does it. But that's a whole different subject. We're going to continue our conversation with Chelsea Gardner, talking about social media. Where do we post? What do we post? And what time do we post? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. They're all wrong, in my opinion. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solutions for you. We're going to continue our conversation this morning with Chelsea Gardner from the Mortgage Marketing Animals. She is the social media guru. And we're going to chat. We're just getting a little education that it works for everybody. You have to tweak it to your own specific channel, your audience, what you're trying to accomplish, unless it's just out there to tell people what you're eating now. I mean, Chelsea, tell me about that. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to give us a picture of what they're getting ready to eat. You know, my pizza or my bagel and lox we shared this morning. Is there any value to that if I'm a business person?
So a couple things, yes and no. So I am a huge advocate for when you post to like your feed, right? So like your Instagram feed or your Facebook like main page, that you do offer some insight into who you are, right? And things that you like to do, and you know what it is that, you know, makes you get up every day, because it really is, I'm doing business with you as a person, not necessarily your business all the time, right? Sometimes, I mean, if it's a pizza place, I'm doing business because it's really good pizza, not necessarily because of the owner. But especially like the mortgage business, people are doing business with you. And so they want to know who you are. But you don't want to flood your feed with all of like what you're eating every day and that you're working out every day. You can do that in your stories, because those are for 24 hours. And that's where you really connect with your followers that you already have. But your feed can really be reserved for more of like your niche content, things that when I'm coming to your feed, I know exactly who you are, what you do, and who you serve. So I know why I'm following you. You're providing me value and information on your feed. And then I can see who you are as a person in your stories more, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So is there a feed and a story on every channel, or is that just on specific specific platforms?
Yeah, so there is a feed and story on every platform except for TikTok. I think they're actually just now releasing where you have highlights and stuff in there. But TikTok's more of like all of your feed video content. But Instagram, Facebook, and even LinkedIn now has a story option. It has not taken off. I wouldn't recommend even wasting your time doing that. But Instagram and Facebook for sure.
And those you said earlier that I can schedule those on those platforms?
You can, yeah. So you can schedule all your posts. You can actually now schedule your stories. So if you pre-record some stories, you can post that as well and schedule them right into your Facebook scheduler or a third-party scheduler.
Wow. Okay, I had not seen that one before. What about the time of day? Is there a better time or a weaker time of day to be posting?
Yeah. So actually Hootsuite released like a kind of like a time of day. There's a couple things to this. If you already have a following, I highly recommend looking at insights to see when your followers are online and follow that schedule. But if you're new, you don't have a lot of followers, or you're just starting your platform, what they recommend is posting between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then midday on Wednesdays. That's kind of like the sweet spot there. On like your Facebook and your Instagram is going to be more towards like the lunchtime, because people are on Instagram scrolling through Instagram, usually on their lunch break. So posting around like 11 a.m. or right at like 4 to 5. But that's only once you kind of have, or if you're just starting. But if you have a following and you've been posting, you want to look at your insights and see when your followers are online.
How many followers do you have to get good insight there?
Well, to see your insights, you need at least 100 on Instagram. I'm not quite sure on Facebook, but I would say, I mean, probably a little bit more than that to like get some really good insights, or at least consistency. So if you're posting for maybe like a month and you still have 100 followers, that's totally cool. Then look at your insights and see what that is.
Am I going to start boring people if I post too much, or is there a limit to what we should be doing?
Yeah. So I typically recommend whatever you can be consistent with. So consistency looks different for everybody, right? Like consistency to me might be every day because I am a social media person, but consistency for someone else might only be 3 times a week. That's totally cool. You don't want to post and ghost, like I like to say. If you're posting and then in 2 weeks you post again, that's your followers get confused. The algorithm gets confused. Instagram thinks you left them. So you want to make sure that you're consistent, whether that's daily, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, or 4 times a week, whatever that looks like for you. That's what I recommend.
Ooh, so that can be more scientific there if you're looking at doing it, in that manner, because you're saying, okay, so sometimes I'm going to post 3 or 4 times a day, but other times it might be only once a day.
Yeah,
So
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Whatever consistency is for you, meaning if it's 3 times a week, 4 times a week, once a day, keep that consistent. Don't post 4 times a day and then only once a day.
Wow. Okay. So I guess we better be more strategic, because I'm sure Josh is probably posting for the team probably 3 or 4 times a day, and then I pop in with maybe another 2 sometimes, 5 sometimes, and then on the weekends I might just have had too much wine, so I don't post anything. So.
Well, there is a study out that I came across, I want to say last week or the week before. I believe HubSpot did it. And it said that if you have 10,000 followers or more, and this is, I believe, on Instagram only, they saw an increased number of clicks when you post more than 1 time a day. But if you have less than 10,000 followers, it said that it received, I want to say 50% less clicks per post when you post more than once a day. So it was saying if you're under 10,000 followers that you should really only be posting once a day or even 5 times a week or less. But if you're over 10,000 followers, then you would see an uptick if you post twice a day or more.
Wow. Okay. That's I guess we're okay because I think we have more than 10,000 followers. I think we're over 10,000. So I think we're safe, I think.
In the safe zone.
we're in the safe zone, but that's great information for if you're listening to us, if you're getting your audience, growing them. Chelsea's giving us all some great information there on how to grow that. How do you get to 10,000, Chelsea? If I'm a individual loan officer, not doing a radio show, or a restaurant business owner, insurance person, is that a magic number, 10,000? Do I need to be striving for that?
It used to be a magic number because then you got opened up like links and stuff, but that's no longer a thing anymore. Anyone can do that. To get followers, to get that many followers it's definitely not going to happen overnight. Even if you were to go quote unquote viral, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. And so it's really, really important to have consistency, and it's really important to know your audience and what they want to be served, and that you are serving them from, a place of I'm giving you information and not necessarily always trying to be sold to, because no one wants to be sold to every time they log into a social platform. They want information, they want education, they want entertainment. Like if you think why you scroll through social platforms, it's not to be sold to. It's to really get that education, the information, or just be just to laugh. And that's what's going to bring in those followers, right? That's what's going to bring in, giving the valuable information, having that clear why I'm coming and following you in the first place. And then just having that consistency, again, not posting and ghosting, making sure that you're consistent on your platforms and that you're engaging with others on your platform.
So you made a comment about opening up links. I thought you can't have links on Instagram.
Yeah. In your stories, you can have links. Now that you now have the link button. Well, most people should. It's still semi rolling out, but most people should have it.
Okay. So I don't even, I didn't even know that we could do something like Josh. More work for Josh. Okay, so
Josh is not going to like this segment.
well, something I always say with our team that all these new things that we come up with is just more job security for Josh, because I have no clue how to do any of it, and I want to keep it that way. So we got a lot covered here. We've talked about how often, we've talked about business, and people are getting to know us, and we're staying on topic. How do I know which platform to go to? Right? Is there any science there?
It really depends on what you're targeting. So kind of like what I said with like TikTok, if you're looking for millennial first-time home buyers, that's where you want to be for them. It's really kind of making sure you're where your target audience is and knowing what that target audience is in general. Facebook is still a very good start. And even if you cross-post with, like I said, with that Facebook Business Manager and opening up an Instagram and doing cross-posting, you can definitely see growth on those. But it's going to be kind of dependent upon what you're looking for. So LinkedIn would be great for your, realtor partners, things like that, or like networking. But I always recommend when people ask me, like, where should I start? I will always probably tell you Facebook. Okay.
And are all these platforms like Facebook? I know I can just put a conversation in there. I can just write on there, hey, come and listen to Ron Siegel Radio. I've got Chelsea Gardner on with us, and we're going to talk about social media. But TikTok, can I do that, or is that all video, or is that still photos, or what are we doing there?
Yeah, it's all video content. You can put photos into a video, but it is video content, or you can just get on and do a quick 15-second up to 3-minute video saying, I have Chelsea Gardner joining me, tomorrow or whatever, and post that as a video content. It can be your voice and just a quick video under 3 minutes.
And does TikTok have advertising, or is that straight organic?
You can advertise.
Okay. So I guess another place to spend money. I'll have to get some permission.
They'll all take your money.
Yeah, they'll take my money. They're all trying to figure out how to get money wherever they're at.
Yes.
This is some great information. What have we missed? What else do I need to know, Chelsea? Is there other tricks to the trade that, it's just you and I chatting, that we only have 7 listeners maybe?
I would say, so one of my little secrets that I like to give out is if you go to facebook.com/ads/library, or if you Google Facebook ads library, it will pull up as well. It is a great little secret where you can do a search for people in your market, or in your, like if you're a loan officer, you can search other loan officers and what they're advertising, what they're currently running in ads. And it just helps with some ideas, even if you're not looking to run Facebook ads, but you're just looking for maybe posting content. It's a great place to go and just kind of see what else is going on out there, and who else is running stuff that might be either in your market or in your same like demographics or what you're looking for. It's a nice little tool.
That sounds like Say that again.
A lot of people don't know about it.
No, I didn't know about that, and I am an expert at repurposing. So one of the things I do best is look at someone else's content and say, hey, something, I like that idea. We'll run with that one.
Yep.
And something we're talking out here every day. So we've got 6 hours, Josh. We can go over there and find all kinds of good stuff. Wow, that's we've got some great stuff there from you. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us and educating us, giving Josh a little bit more work to do, and another platform. We didn't even talk, Josh. We didn't even talk here. Chelsea, do you know anything about Twitch? Is it Twitch, Josh? Is that the one you have us on? Is there maybe it's that's a Josh platform. He understands Twitch, so
I think I've heard it, but I've never used it.
Okay, so we're at Twitch, and then I guess soon to be a TikToker. So, is that what they call us, John? Is that Chelsea? Is that what they call me, a TikToker?
TikToker, yeah.
TikToker. So you'll be able to listen to Ron Siegel Radio on your favorite radio stations, and then now will be can we put an hour broadcast on TikTok?
You can do up to 3-minute videos.
Up to 3 minutes. Okay, so
or go live. You can go live.
Oh, we can go live. Oh, okay. So we'll have to see if StreamYard is going to be going TikTok. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised. We love StreamYard. So great information. I really appreciate you checking in with us, Chelsea, helping us out. If we can ever do anything for you, just give us a holler at Ron Siegel Radio. I'd love to have you come back. And I know this world of social media is changing all the time. So maybe we can get you to come back and join us again down the road. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.